Hey guys, what's going on? Jeb here, and in today's video, Bitcoin has fallen and rejected off of $8,900, one of the major levels of resistance that we've been looking at here over the last 3 days. Over the last 24 hours, Bitcoin has fallen and broken short-term support to put in a double bottom at $8,580, just as we predicted in yesterday's video. And I want to tell you what my gut is telling me, guys. My gut is telling me that Bitcoin's going to have a little bit of a bigger rejection here from 9K before we break it. I've got a weird feeling that we're not just going to break it in the next 48 hours. I've got a weird feeling that we're going to reject maybe down to around $8,500, and then we're going to rally from there. I don't quite feel totally confident that we're just going to have a solid breakout in the next couple of days. It might take a little bit of time. I still think it's going to happen, but I don't know that it's going to happen as quickly as some of us were hoping for. So with all that in mind, today we're going to be doing some shorter term technical analysis on the Bitcoin market so that you can hopefully walk away informed and ready to profit here over the next 72 hours or so. Before we dive into it though, I do briefly want to mention that the sale on CT2A will be wrapping up at midnight tomorrow, so if you've been thinking about jumping into the Academy, now's the time to do it. But without much further ado, guys, let's go ahead and dive right on into it. We're going to be doing some more shorter term analysis in today's video, guys, but first, I have a very important announcement. Be sure to hit that like and subscribe button for the YouTube algorithm. With that very special announcement out of the way, guys, we're actually going to go ahead and dive on down to the minute chart. Yes, guys, we're going to be looking at the minute chart here on a daily video because I need to show you with quite a lot of resolution what's been going on here over the last few days because it's really important to get a glimpse into. As you guys can see, for a while here, Bitcoin was making higher highs, and we eventually rallied all the way up here to around $8,900. And I just so happen to be looking for a trade entry right here. And right here, I had a trade entry position sitting up here around 89.20, but I decided not to enter because I wasn't feeling too confident in the bulls, not confident enough to enter a 25x long like I was looking to go into. And it turns out that was the right call, guys, because a little while ago, Bitcoin set a lower low as well as it being a head and shoulders pattern, and Bitcoin jumped and dove from there. And it's very important that Bitcoin did that because, as you guys can see, Bitcoin also broke this uptrending level of support that Bitcoin was using as support up until about 8 o'clock last night. Worse yet, Bitcoin actually just rejected off of that same trend line a few hours ago and has now turned it into resistance. As you guys know, when support becomes resistance, it's very bearish, or when resistance becomes support, it's very bullish, and that is what we've just seen happen. But why is all of that important, guys? The reason that that's important, guys, is because a lot of times longer-term moves will show up first on the shorter-term time frames. In technical analysis, there is a topping out formation called a rounding top pattern. Here's the Investopedia for it. And it basically just looks like a rounded top. That's really just that. I mean, it's come on, guys, it's not that hard. I think you get it. And as you guys may be able to notice, Bitcoin is more or less forming one with higher highs, higher highs, higher highs, lower highs, lower highs, lower highs here over the last several days. And it's not really a head and shoulders pattern because it just is too, frankly, ugly to be a head and shoulders pattern, but it is a rounding top formation, which serves more or less the same purpose. It's a topping pattern. Guys, Bitcoin had major resistance between $8,900 and $9,000. We talked about that at length in the last couple of videos, and I also said that I just had a weird feeling that Bitcoin wasn't going to be able to get through it just yet. When Bitcoin comes up here and tests this resistance once, twice, 3 times, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times, and Bitcoin isn't able to get through it. More than that, though, Bitcoin isn't able to set a higher high at all. That isn't very bullish to me. And that last part's very important because if you test the same level of resistance 17 times, you're probably going to break it. But if you start setting lower highs later on in those tests, then it's not quite as likely. But anyway, guys, why does this even matter? I mean, Bitcoin is still sitting above support down here around $8,560. We said that Bitcoin might pull back down to around $8,500. That's pretty much exactly where we said it was going to go. We set a double bottom down here. What's the problem here? Well, the problem here is, guys, is that Bitcoin had a well-defined uptrend of support that should have pushed Bitcoin through our resistance at $8,900. Instead of breaking bullish like we wanted to, Bitcoin has instead broken bearish. That's a bad thing, and the reason that's a bad thing is because Bitcoin has been trying to restart a bull market on the daily chart for quite some time, and frankly, if Bitcoin gets stopped out below 9K, we're not entering that bull market. Bitcoin isn't in it yet, and the reason for that largely has to do with this one moving average. If Bitcoin does not get above the 200 daily simple moving average, it's not in a bull market, period, full stop. It's just not. If you look at the history of Bitcoin, whenever we're in a bull market, Bitcoin is above that moving average. Bitcoin needs to be above it, and we're not. If Bitcoin can't get above 9K, then how are we going to get above 9,100 where that moving average is? The reason that all of this matters, guys, is because all of this little movement down here on the minute chart, the 5-minute chart, this is actually a major bull flag. As you can see, we broke bullish out of this consolidation pattern. We entered a bull flag, but the problem is, guys, sometimes bull flags get a little bit too big, and they fall over. Just think about it like this. Think about you have this tiny little flagpole over here, and then you try and put a gigantic, like 40-foot American flag on it. It's not going to hold it. It's going to fall over. It's going to break bearish. And guys, I've seen this happen a lot where Bitcoin will break bullish and the bull flag will drag on and on and on and on and on, and then it Bart Simpsons. So I'm not saying that the chance of a bull rally is gone, but I'm getting a lot less confident in it. All the technicals are pointing that direction, but just because the technicals are pointing that direction doesn't necessarily mean it's going to happen. You guys know that. If Bitcoin can't find the bullish strength, like I was worried about in yesterday's video, if Bitcoin can't find that bullish strength to break through these last level of resistances and get back up above just like $600 north of where we are right now, a bull market isn't going to form. If we can get past that, then we can probably sustain one, but until that happens, we're still bearish, and there's a good chance that we're actually going to Bart Simpson here. So what happens from here, guys? Bitcoin has turned this bull flag into sideways price action, which is starting to look like the head of a certain yellow character from The Simpsons, and we really need to continue to break bullish or we're just going to break bearish. You guys know that typically markets are not going to trade sideways for too long when there's already a lot of volatility and exuberance. Normally they're going to pick a direction, and if they can't go bullish, well, then they're probably going to go bearish. So is that what we're about to see happen? Well, guys, the answer to that, I've got to say, is a definite maybe, as someone I know would say. For right now, though, guys, I'm looking at this moving average, the 20 exponential moving average on the 4-hourly chart down here. Normal, and I know a lot of people are like, Jeb, you can just make up moving averages out of anywhere. You can, but this moving average actually does have a lot of historical precedence. We were using it as resistance down here when we were pulling back. We were using it as support back over here in this market. This is actually an important moving average. The 20 EMA is important on almost any time frame, but the point is here is that this is where Bitcoin's getting support as well. If we can bounce bullish off of this, then yeah, there's a pretty good chance that we just trade sideways for a few days and recover our losses and come up and break bullish. It can go either way right now, guys. That's the point I'm trying to make. And it's hard to side with either the bulls or the bears right now because there's actually a good argument to be made on both sides. The trend is bullish, but at the same time, guys, trend reversals do happen, and a lot of times they look something like this. So, one, I'm going to throw it back to you guys, but two, I also don't want you to walk away from the video with nothing, so I'm going to give you a what's the trade. If Bitcoin falls below, honestly, if Bitcoin falls below $8,560, I'd be bearish, but to be a little bit more conservative, if Bitcoin falls below $8,450, that would mean that around $8,400 would be an entry position. That might be a place that you'd want to short the Bitcoin market for the time being anyway, because if Bitcoin falls below $8,400, guys, we're probably not going to be able to sustain the bull rally, and we're probably about to go into a longer term, relatively speaking, downtrend, and that would probably be a very good place to enter a short position. I'm not even going to get into price targets for that because there's a million of them, and frankly, it doesn't even really matter. You can play that one by ear, but an entry position for a short would be looking something around $8,400, which is right where my cursor is right now. If you guys are trying to go long, I'm still all for the $9,125 long entry. Both of those are trades that you're probably going to hold for a few days. Those are not scalp trades. I want to make sure you understand that. So we have a short position entry at $8,400 and a long position entry at $9,125. What that means, guys, is that Bitcoin has checked off enough boxes right now for me to consider what we're in right now a no trade zone. There's money to be made scalping down here in the minute chart, don't get me wrong, but as far as slightly longer term trades, I'd be wary of entering any position at the moment, and I think a lot of people would be agreeing with me with that, considering the volume has been dropping off quite substantially. We're looking for a breakout here of some kind. There's still a lot of volatility in the market. We just need to see which direction that's going to head, because right now it could really go either way. So guys, I hope you got some good value out of that, but let's go ahead and go to full screen. And guys, look, here's the deal. It doesn't matter which direction Bitcoin breaks out. If Bitcoin breaks bullish, good. We're starting a new bull market. If it does break bearish, we might be looking at 6 more weeks of bear market. Look, it's not the end of the world if that happens. There's money to be made in both directions. So guys, I don't want you getting freaked out. I don't want you guys losing your minds if Bitcoin decides that it's not going to start the bull market just yet and puts it on hold, because it is coming. It might just take a little while longer than we were thinking it would, and that's not the end of the world. I just want to give you guys a friendly reminder here at the end of the video to make sure you're always using stop losses, make sure you're always planning your trades, make sure you're always using a risk to reward calculator, and also, guys, most importantly, make sure that you always hit that like and subscribe button. Helps with the YouTube algorithm. No, but seriously, make sure you're also being careful to think about your trades and do your own thinking. Don't just go and do trades because someone on YouTube said, hey, here's a trade idea, and execute on it blindly. Make sure you're using your own thought process, your own technical analysis whenever you're doing your trades. Anyway, guys, before we wrap the video out, I do briefly just want to mention the Cryptocurrency Technical Analysis Academy. This sale is going to be running through midnight tomorrow, and we've had dozens of you guys join in the last little while. while, and I think you guys are really enjoying it. I've got a lot of positive feedback about CT2A lately, and I'm really happy to hear it, guys. And also, yesterday, I just finished doing a rough outline for the entire revamp of CT2A. There's going to be over 45 videos in the Academy, and I'm about to add several more to that plan. Every one of you that joins CT2A today using the coupon code January 2020 will get $40 off, and you'll get access to CT2A for $159. After that revamp is done, CT2A is going to be going from anywhere between $300 and $400 because there's going to be so much more content. But you, if you join now, are going to get access to all of those content updates for free. So guys, if you want to learn more or less everything about cryptocurrency technical analysis so that you can start working on becoming an expert trader, then I highly recommend you join CT2A with the link in the description down below. We have over 1,000 students and they're always raving about it. If you're interested, you can join our Discord server and see what some of them have to say in private, where I'm not around to influence what they have to say. But anyway, guys, that is pretty much going to wrap it up for today's video. I'm about to go look at some investment property, actually, so I'm going to do that. But before I go, I first want to make sure to thank each and every single last one of you for watching, as always, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.